Okay, welcome everyone. So we have had a break in the classes. Let's resume. It's been a long time now. And let's see what we remember. Let's chant first. Om Gananam Tva Ganapati Gam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamasravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspat Ana Shrinmannoti Sid Sadhanam Om Shri Mahaganpataye Namaha सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Okay, we had started with the Nyaya Sutras and we had finished up till the third chapter, second part, the third full chapter we had completed. So earlier we started chanting the Purush Sukta, but that will take a few more minutes. Shall we do that, or shall we continue direct to the Nyaya Sutras? George, Manisha.
Um, I don't mind, but we haven't done the Purusha Sukta in a long time, so perhaps we could very quickly cover the first few lines.
Yeah, we'll chant the first paragraph. I will not do it line by line. Let's do the first paragraph because which we have done earlier, and the rest we'll do. What we'll do is we'll just try and you can try and read it after this class, and by next class we can start with the new lines. Okay. So Purush Sukta is a very important sukta because it talks about the universal consciousness. There is the individual consciousness which is working through the human body or any other individual being. And then there is the total consciousness, which is working through the Lord, Ishvara. So Ishvara's consciousness working through the whole universe is his body. So just like there is a forest and the trees, we are the trees, the universe is the forest. Similarly, we are individuals, we are all parts of Ishvara, the consciousness that runs through the whole universe. So that consciousness, uh, when it takes on the universe as its body, what is the universe itself? It is described in this one. So I'll just chant the Shanti mantra. You two try and chant it one by one. Did we start with the second verse? The first verse after the Shanti part. Did we try this? Or were we on to the Shanti part only? Manisha, do you remember?
No, I don't think we started the second one.
Okay. Okay, then we'll just do the Shanti mantra and next time we'll start with the first verse. I'll just read the first one and you guys try to watch where my voice goes up and down, and it's there in the swara marks. There is a swara mark at the down where your voice should go down, your pitch should go down, and then again when there is a mark on the top, your pitch should go up. If there are two marks, that means you stretch the sura. Om Tachayora Gatum Yagyaya Gatum Yagyapataye Devi Swastirastu Naha Swastirmanushyebhyah Urdhvam Jigatu Bheshajam Sham no Astu Dvipade Sham Chatushpade Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. James, George, you want to start?
Sure.
Okay.
Om Sachan Yola Branimahe Gatum Yaya Gatum Yaya Patiye Devi Svastirastunaha Svastir Manushtebhyaha Urdhvam Urdhvam Jekatu
ऊर्ध्वं
Bheshanam
जिगातु भेषजम्
Urdhvam Jekatum Bheshanam Tanno Astu Dvipade Tam Chatushpade Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay, nice. Manisha?
Om Datshayo Ravanimahe Gatum Yajñapate Devi Swastirastu Nः Swastirmanishebhyः Urdhva Bheshajam Shamno Astu Dvipade Sham Chatushpate Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.
Good. So let's start with the class then. We will start with the Nyaya Sutras. So we had finished the third chapter. The third chapter in the middle of the book, because there are 5 chapters. So third is the middle one. And this, as I said, the number of sutras follows the pyramidal structure. The first one has the least and the middle ones have the highest number of sutras. So the third chapter has the highest number of sutras. And then from here on, it will start to decrease. So the last one, the third one had 78 sutras. And so that was the longest one. And from here on, it will start to decrease. So, so the next few chapters we can go maybe a bit faster. So third, part 1 and part 2 both have 78 sutras. So now we come to the next. So till now what we have been doing is, in the first chapter, from the first chapter, the different parts of Nyaya were described. And all the 16 parts were described, and each of them had subdivisions. They were being described. So then they were completely described, or the definitions given in the first 2 chapters. Then from the third chapter onwards, each of the definitions is taken up and examined if there are any flaws in the argument, if there are any flaws in their definition. So a bit more they have been explained. So whatever has been explained earlier, it has been explained here. So when we are looking at this chapter, it starts with pravritti. So pravritti is something that was defined earlier in the first chapter, the 17th sutra. 1:1:17, it was defined. So what does it say here? 4:1:1. Pravrittihi yatha uktaha. So, or pravritti yathoktaha. So if we split this up, there will be a visarga, 2 dots after pravritti. So we pronounce it pravrittihi. And then because of that visarga, when they are joined, a ra will come, the resh will come on the top. So that is pravrittir yathokta. That is how it's pronounced when it's said together. But when we split it up, the individual words are pravrittihi yatha uktaha. So this means, what does this mean? Yathoktaha, ya athaha uktaha. If we split it up also, what has been said earlier. Atha uktaha is what has been said, whatever has been explained earlier. So pravritti is, he says, I will not repeat the definition. You are intelligent and sharp students. Even after 3 months, you are supposed to remember whatever has been taught earlier. So I hope you guys remember. So that was way ago when we did pravritti. So if we just have a quick look at pravritti in the first chapter, 1:17, then we saw there the definition of pravritti as given as. I'm not scrolling in the book on the page. So pravritti hi vag, buddhi, sharir, arambha. So pravritti or activity is something is that has been started by vak or vani or a speech, and then buddhi, our intellect or mind, and sharir, so the body. So we have three different kinds of karma. Actions, there are three different, and these three are, they have been explained earlier. If there are three kinds of pravritti, the pravritti can be started with something that is at the mental level also, something that I've thought is also pravritti. So if I have thought something wrong about someone, or I have maybe imagined doing something wrong, even that is considered as an activity. Why is it considered an activity? Because it generates a pattern in the mind. It generates a samskara in our mind, a sanskara, an impression in the mind, which can be the cause of future action, future physical action also. So in a way, it is also an action which has not been taken to the physical level, but at the mental level, it is also an action. And then vak. So here vak is given earlier, but in the series, it will come as at the second spot. So vak is through the vani or speech. So we can also perform an activity by the speech. So whenever we think of doing something, whenever you have planned and we are discussing that plan with other people, so that is activity at the vak level. Mhm. And then finally, of course, the physical actions which we see, which is known to everyone, that doesn't need elaboration. So that activity is what most people think of as activity. But in Nyaya, we consider all facets of a thing, right? So he says this has already been explained. So uh, then pravritti, there is not much to define, but we will go more into the status or the definition of the doshas. So, second sutra, tatha doshaha, tatha doshaha. So also the faults. What is a fault? Tatha dosha, again it is given in 1180. So they are the things that happen due to activity. So what does activity do? We know that karma happens whenever we are uh, in a state of delusion, whenever we are born into this world through some desires. When we are born, because why are we born? Because of are being unaware of our true nature. Yes. So when we are unaware of our true nature, then we think that we are incomplete. Whenever I think I'm incomplete, then I strive to attain things to make myself feel complete. And that striving is what calls action. That is called pravritti. And because of that, there are the faults, defects. What are the faults? Rag, Dvesh and Moha. These are the three basic faults. Rag, Dvesh, Moha, Antarbhava. So these we'll see in the next sutra. So the definition has been given again, as I said, in 18th. Pravartana Lakshana Doshaha. Dosh is what? Which gives rise to activity. So it is because of Rag and Dvesh and Moh that we start to indulge in some kind of activity. So because of these three, raga is attachment to something, dvesha is aversion from something, whenever we want to keep something at arm's length or away from us, and then moha is when we are totally deluded. We lose sight of what is correct or what is wrong, and we are so much enamored with some person or some object that we lose our ability to judge what is right or wrong and how to do it properly. So these three affect our actions. Hmm. So that is being discussed in the next sutra. So we'll go to so not spending much on the first two because the author himself has stated them very succinctly, very shortly. So third one, 413. fourth chapter, first book, first part, and the third sutra. tat trehi ashayam rag dvesh moh antarbhavat. So mohantar uh, so that those faults, what are those faults? Trehi, there are three kinds. Trehi ashayam. They have three kinds of indicators. What are those? Rag, Dvesh, or Moha Antarbhava. There are three categories, you can say, three groups. Hmm. So all of these three activities are all of these three faults are lead us to activity. So they are Rag, Dvesh, and Moha Antarbhava. So when we look at all of these three, then they seem like single faults, but they all have also other subdivisions. So rag is one broad category of faults. It has other subdivisions, other, we can say, other kind of emotions that are associated with that. So, so if we just look at rag, if we look at rag or attachment, then it has within it there are different parts, like there is calm. The desire to attain something, that also comes under raga. Then there is matsarya. Matsarya. Matsarya is seeing someone do better than you. So it is defined as matta sarati. So if I see someone, oh, will you go past me? Mattaha sarati. Will you cross me? Or so if someone is better than you, I get offended. I try to surpass him. Or I stay very angry that person is ahead of me. Right? So that is matsarya. So that is again a part of raga. Then spriha, longing. Longing for someone, pining and longing for someone, even though it's not attainable for me or desirable for me. Sometimes, even if it is desirable, I'm pining, but not actually willing to go out and do something about it. So that is spriha. And then there is trishna. Trishna is having a very deep, unquenchable thirst for something. Like trishna actually comes from the word when we are thirsty. So thirsty is when we need water, but it's just not applicable to water itself. It is applicable to all our other things that we desire in life. All these have very fine lines of distinction. They cross over also a lot of times. That is why all of these are really very similar in meaning. Then there is within rag there is dambha. So dambha is the pride that I am good when I'm not even that good. Dambha is arrogance or mixed with wrong knowledge. Sometimes someone thinks I'm the greatest. That is dambha. Even though he's not the greatest, no one can be the greatest. Everyone is lesser or greater in some qualities than everyone. So there can never be a perfect being. Then there is lobha. Lob is also a kind of raga. It also comes under the category of raga. Lob is greed. So greed also comes under raga. So it is one of the primary ones. And then rag means attachment. Then dvesh is aversion. I want to keep something away. So if there is do any of you have the Gita? Manisha, George?
Not right now. Sorry, my
Not
stuff
right
is back
now.
to my dad.
Okay. So if we look at we're looking at dvesha. So under dvesha we have one of them is krodh or anger. So this krodh, irsha, asuha, drosh, amarsh, abhiman, they all come under dvesh. So I'll just see if I can share it. Second chapter and 67. Let me take out the words. If I see if I can share it onto the screen somewhere. No, 63, sorry. Yeah, I was mistaken about the number. So let me see if I can find it. I will just look at Gita. 63. Yeah, okay, I got it. So I'll just quickly share it so you can refer to it just to understand the nature of these qualities. So what does it say? 63. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Smriti bhanshat buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashyati. And then again 64th. Rag dvesha vishayastu vishayan indriyascharan atmavashyar vidhe atma prasadam adhigacchati. So krodhat bhavati sammoha. And we'll go one back also. 62 ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगात संजायते कामात क्रोधो अभिजायते. So if we go seriously from here, then ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः, by our attachment to the objects around our life, sangaste upajayate, we develop an attachment in our life. What is that attachment? Raga. And then because of that attachment, sangat sanjayate kamaha, because of that kamaha, a desire is born. The kamaha, kam shakti is born. And then kamat krodha abhijayate. So if because of that desire, anger is born. When is it born? When our desire is not fulfilled. When our desire is not fulfilled, then krodh is born. I am angry that my desire was not fulfilled. Abhijayate, it is born. Then krodhat bhavati sammoha. So from anger is born sammoha. Okay, so that is like you can branch it out into two sections. So if my desire is attained, then I get krodha. If it is not, then I achieve that desire, then I get into sammoha or moha. So moha is also one of the doshas. So moha is a delusion, right? I'm so attached or enamored with the thing or the object of my desire that when I've attained it, I am so engrossed in it, I lose sight of things around me. I have brought my favorite video game home and I'm so engrossed in playing it. I forget my studies, I forget my other duties, and this can apply to any other thing. So these are like two different branches. So when desire is fulfilled, then sammoha, when it is not fulfilled, krodha. And then if there is sammoha, what is happened? Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. So our mental faculties stop to function. I stop remembering things. I forget what to do. Smriti vibhramaha. And then smriti bhanshat buddhi nasha. My intellect gets destroyed. And buddhi nasha pranashyati. My whole life gets destroyed. Sometimes we get so caught up in our desires, we fail to latch on to what is important for us, and we totally lose out in life. We totally, go down in life because there is a desire for fulfilling our deepest wants, but besides that, we also have to earn something. We have to work. We have to work towards attaining. And unless we work, we will not be able to survive in this life. So if we get too much caught in our desires, our earnings will not be good enough to match with our requirement. So in this way, rag dvesh vishayastuhu vishayan indriyacharan atmavashya vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati. The one who takes care of his rag and dvesha, he controls his senses, his indriyas, his sense organs from going out to the vishayas, from going out towards the sense objects. The person who controls his desires, who does not get caught in the sense objects, that is the atma vashya vidheyatma prasadam ati gacchati. So that is the person who goes towards joy, the true joy. The one who is not the ones who indulges in senses. Mostly what we think is someone who, if we are indulging in my desires completely, then I am happy. Our Shastra says the reverse. The Shastra says if you learn to control your desires, then you'll be happy. Why? Because that true happiness comes from the ability to know when to indulge and when not to indulge. The indulgence should be there when we have earned it and we have time for it. But mentally, we should always be aware of our duties, of our targets in life. Whenever we stray from that, we are waiting for something bad in our life. We are waiting for something that will hurt us in life, right? So holding on to our duties, remembering our duties is a very important part of our life journey. It's so we should enjoy, and the Shastra doesn't say we should not enjoy, but our enjoyment should be tempered by the availability of resources and the availability of time, and also it should be controlled by the need to keep on generating resources for the future. So all of these are, as I said, rag and dvesh within these two basic sets of doshaha or faults. There are so many other faults. So we come back to dveshaha. So within dveshaha, uh, there is we have seen uh, krodha or anger. It comes under dveshaha. And yeah, because dvesh or dvesh has a very important component in krodh only. Dvesh is when we don't want something, and because of that, when we don't want something, anger is born in our mind. Then Isha. Isha is when we are jealous of something. Jealousy is born, right? So that is another part of dvesha. Then Asuya. Are you writing this down, or will you remember, or these different parts? So if you can, you should write this down, because within, this is not there in the book, I think. So within Raga, you have Kam, Matsarya, Spreha, Trishna, Dambha, Lobha. Then within Dvesh, you have Krodh, Isha, Asuya, Droh, Amarsh, Abhiman. So Krodh is anger. Then Isha, jealousy. Then Asuya. Asuya again is something closer to jealousy. It's the feeling of insufficiency within myself. Asuya. So Anasuya is the wife of Gautam. What does that signify? Someone who is at peace with oneself, that is Anasuya. And what is that? Anasuya is the wife of Gautam. Who is Gautam Rishi? Does anyone remember from any earlier class what is the primary meaning of Go? We say cow is Go, but what is the primary meaning?
Light.
Yes, right? It's light. So, so if it is light, that means Gautama means someone who has conquered the tamaha or darkness by light, someone who's enlightened. So an enlightened person is Gautamaha, and so that person will never be caught by the rag and dvesh. So he will not have asuya. He will not have the feeling of insufficiency or the feeling of wanting something. Asuya is also wanting something that I don't have, that doesn't belong to me, wanting something that belongs to someone else. That is also Asuya. So opposite of Asuya is Anasuya. So Anasuya is the wife. So the meanings of all the names in the Shastras, or all the different events, they have a very deep spiritual symbolic meaning also. So the wife of Gautama Rishi is Anasuya. Right? So then we come back to the parts of Dvesha. So one is Asuya, which is the opposite of Anasuya. Then Droh, the feeling of rebellion, the feeling of not wanting to obey something. There are so many rules that are there in our life. But sometimes, we don't feel like sticking to the rules because we are caught up in our desires. I want to play, but I don't. So when someone asks me to study, I get angry. If my mom says, okay, it's time for me to study, then I get upset with her. Why all the time you're asking study, study, study? Why do you want me to study? So all of these things, anything that anyone imposes on us, my It is usually the women who are very careful that the men don't waste their time. They will always point out it's time for you to work or time for you to study. So they are the best guides in our life. So this guidance that is given by people around us, our parents, mother, father, or elders, or teachers, that guidance sometimes we don't wish to follow, and we rebel against that. Droha is not the good kind of rebellion; it is the bad kind of rebellion. It is a rebellion from uh, our sense of duty. Then Amarshah. Amarshah is something that gives me joy, Marshaha. Okay. That thing of that gives me joy, I want to stay with that only. I don't want to do anything else. So this is again a part of this one. And then Abhiman. Abhiman is also arrogance or pride. Pride. Abhiman is the actual pride. In English, we translate as uh, the ego as pride. But in Hindi, we have different words for that. Ego sense is the I sense. Ego sense. Aham karta iti manyate. Ahankar. So ahankar and abhiman are two words. In So ahankar means the ego sense or the I sense that I have done something. But abhiman is the arrogance or the pride that comes with that. That I have done it. I am the best, or I am so good at this. I keep reveling in my own excellence, right? And then out of the we have seen in the sutra tat trai ashayam raga dvesha moha. So two we have seen raga and dvesh. Then we have moha. Moha is delusion, when I am not aware of the correct nature of things. So under that comes mithya gyan, wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge comes under moha. Yeah. So I am so engrossed with a woman who is of doubtful character. So I will not see the faults of that person. It might be a woman, a man, a friend, anyone. And so it sometimes it is said, no, a parent can have moha. A parent can have undue attachment with such a certain child that he fails to see the faults of child. Parents usually, normally also, they don't see the faults of their children. But sometimes some parents are more attached to one child, and they will see the faults of one child, but they will not see the faults of that other child. That is called moha. They don't see the faults of that one child. They will favor that one child. They will help that child more, forgetting that the other child might be feeling bad. The parent might feel, okay, this child is more self independent, doesn't need my guidance, he's managing on his own, so he will focus on the weaker child. But that is wrong. Both children deserve equal attention. After that, it is up to the child to deny your guidance, or he say, okay, dad, I'll manage, you go and do your work. If dad says, shall I help you with your homework, the weaker child will say, yes, I'm not able to perform. The stronger child might choose to, say, okay, dad, I'll manage, you do your work. But still, the father has to offer. It goes the same with the reverse also. The child can have more with only the mother and not the father, or only the father and not the mother. So all of these are doshas. I'm taking a lot of time on this, mainly because these are important concepts. We need to know in depth about these, because they are the basis for how we interact in the world, right? So, also, of course, in Nyaya Sutras, they have gone in depth into these. So that is why we are going into it also. So Rag, Dvesh, and Moh. So once we understand these three, then we are able to understand what kind of arguments will come further. Yeah. So next is after Mithya Gyan, there is Sanshaya, doubt. Because of Moha, we always are in doubt. Sanshaya is always there. Whether we should do this or that, whether this is correct or this is wrong, always there is there. Then there is Man. Man is something closer to Abhiman. But in Abhiman, why is it going under Dvesha? Because it carries an element of arrogance, pride, wrong pride. Then Man is again more of wrong thinking the wrong kind of concept that I am better in, when in fact I might be the worst person, or I might be the least capable person. So that comes under man. Then there is pramad. Pramad also comes under moha. What is pramad? Pramad is a feeling of uh, the pramad is a sort of a laziness. It is a laziness. It is the unwillingness to do something. So when we are caught up in moha, we are not willing to do what our duties, whatever duties are there. So pramad consists of the inability to go out and do what is necessary, right? And then next one is bhaya, fear. Because of moha, we are always in fear. When I know my true nature, when I know I'm infinite, then of course I'm fearless. There is nothing from which to fear from. But even without that knowledge, when I'm in moha, then I have lots of fears. So any little thing that can harm me, that of course causes fear. Any little thing that may harm me, that will also cause fear, and so on. So fear becomes a very uh, big part of my life. I develop all kinds of notions. One person has hurt me in a lonely place. I will have fear at all times when I go into that lonely place. Overcoming that needs a lot of strength in humanity, learning, having the strength to defend myself. So it's not easy, but with practice, we overcome this fear. Right? So all fear is born out of familiar environments where we think that something bad has happened. I will always think bad will again happen to me. So if I can be strong enough to physically take care of that fear, physically have to become strong, mentally take care of the fear that yes, this wrong thing has happened, something has happened to me. Uh, I was able to overcome it earlier on. So today also I will overcome. So these are very important parts of our life where whenever we encounter a situation, it has brought something tough for me. But I should always remember that the eternal line that this too shall pass away. Any tough situation, any tough time will pass away. And any situation with it, it gives us the opportunity. It gives us the opportunity to increase our inner mental strength. It gives us the chance to develop the inner mental strength. Once we are mentally strong, that situation will probably not come again. It is a way of nature for testing us to see if we can bear some situation. Once we keep succumbing to the pressure, that situation will come again and again. Right? So that is bhaya is again a part of that moha. And then shok. Shok is uh, grieving for something. Right? There is nothing worth grieving for. If someone has come, he is bound to go away. It is a way of nature. So someone dies, we have to move on. Of course, we have the feeling. Yes, we have attachment to that person. We have respect for that person. So we feel a sense of loss that will not go away. There's nothing wrong about that. Yes, but letting that feeling overtake. Some people will grieve for months, some people for years, and some people for the rest of their lifetime. That grief needs to be tempered with the rest of the world. There is a long life ahead of us. There is not one person only in our life. There are so many other people. We have to take care of them. We have to move ahead with them. So shoka is something that pulls us down, right? So temporarily let it pull us down. Temporarily we have a duty towards the person who's departed. So shok is not only in death, right? It can be for any situation. Yeah. So it can be for a situation where I've lost an object, where I've lost something. So in all of these cases, we have to remember whatever I've lost, I will recover some other time. Even if it is not recoverable, I survived without that object before also, I can survive afterwards also. So in all of these three, we have seen rag, dvesh, and moha. They are the causes of pravritti. So raga causes more pravritti, dvesha causes a sort of lapse from prakriti, pravritti, and moha again it causes wrong direction of pravritti, right? It does not give us the correct direction of which action should be done. We end up doing a lot of wrong things because of moha. So I hope Rag, Dvesh and Moha, these three are clear so far. Manisha, James?
Yes, it's
Yes.
clear.
There were so many
Yeah.
components. I don't think it's easier to remember all, but I hope you got the concept right. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So maybe revise to the notes. This is a very important section. It will help you a lot in life also. So now we next three sutras. I'll just bring that quickly onto the screen. So next three sutras will consider of the objections, right? They will consider of they will take up the objections, and after that, those objections will be answered. So what is the basic objection? The objection is nothing to do with the definition of these. The objection basically is the opponent or the student or whoever is trying to club them together into one category. He's trying to club them into one category. He's saying, you are saying there are so many faults, and then we have seen this subdivisions also. So all of these subdivisions that we have seen are okay, we understand that, but uh, basically they all come from the same source. So why can't you consider all the doshas at one? So he says Rag, Dvesh and Moha are one only. How? Fourth sutra. 414. So 41. Na ek pratyanik abhavat. Pratyanik bhavat. Sorry. Pratyanik bhavat. So he says that they are because they are opponents opposed by one single thing only. Why? Uh, that is, if there is knowledge, knowledge destroys all three. When there is jnanam, then jnanam will destroy uh, Rag, Dvesh, and Moh. All three will be destroyed. So that means they are all the same only. He says if one thing can destroy all another three things, then they are all the same only. That is, Gyan will destroy all three. So when we are in the state of knowledge, then obviously Rag will not be there. Why should I be attached to someone? I am that person. I'm not different from anything in the universe. So I will not have Ragaha. I will also not have Dveshaha. And of course, Moha is totally ruled out. Why should I be trapped in this world? Why should I be attached to the objects of this world when I am infinite? All these objects are within me and not outside of me. So that knowledge destroys these three. So he says all three are same. Why are you enumerating them separately? So first he answers that. Vyabhicharat hetu. So we say because your reply is not good because it is heretic. He said vyabhichar. It is the rule that you are giving is not universally applicable. Vyabhichar, it strays. Vyabhichar is to stray from the right path. So the hetu, the reasoning, the cause that you are giving has a vyabhichar dosha, a vyabhichar fault. It is not universally applicable. Why? It's not given, the answer is not given in the sutra, but these sutras are like, they contain all the information. The examples are found by the teachers who are teaching that sutra. So they find that, and when they teach, they give that. So that is given in the bhashyam, the definition. So here also it is given here. That example is given by fire. So fire can destroy. Here the example is given of colors. So fire can destroy all colors, whether it be blue, black, green, yellow, brown. You can apply this universally also. Fire will destroy everything that comes into contact with it. Even if it does not totally turn to ashes, it will maybe change their shape or size or shape or character. So we say fire is opposed to all of these things. Right? It can burn a piece of paper, a piece of wood, a piece of plastic universally. So if fire will destroy anything that comes in contact with it for a sufficient amount of time for it to be affected, then it will destroy. So all those objects are definitely distinct entities. They might come from the single source, from single Prithvi Tattva we can say, but yet they are all destructible by fire. So does this not mean that, does this mean that all the objects of the universe are the same? No. They have different entities. They are different entities. They have different presence. So we say, Vyavichar Hetu is there in your argument. We cannot accept that. Then again, the next argument he gives, Tesham Moha Papiyan Amuraha Tasya Itara Utpatte. So he says of these three, the moha is the worst. Moha is the worst because the person who does not have moha, who is not into the state of total ignorance or total of lack of judgment, then other two do not come into existence. The rag and dvesh, right? So rag and dvesh will not come into existence, right? And then another argument he gives. So first one, I think you understood. First one is he's saying that if there is moha, then only there will be raga and dvesha. So we should club them into the same category. And then the second one, 417. Praptaha tarhi nimitta namittika bhavat arthantar bhavo doshebhya. So nimitta namittik bhav, the cause and effect relationship exists between the moha and the other faults, that is rag and dvesh. So he says we should consider them as the same, just like you can say that from hydrogen and oxygen come water. So you can say they are the cause, then water is not separate from them. But no, every element, every compound has its own unique entity, its own unique qualities. And so that argument does not hold. But right now, this is what is the argument of the opponent. So, praptaha tarhi nimitta namittik bhavat arthantar bhavo doshebhya. So all the doshas, they have a nitya namittik bhava. They have the relationship of cause and effect. So that in that case, we should consider all of them as the same. Praptaha tarhi, we should consider them as praptaha, as attained from the same source. Praptaha tarhi, from that, attained from that. Yeah. So all the doshas are the same only. So the two arguments they have given, the opponent says, first is that moha is the most strongest one. It being there, other two will exist. If not, other two will not exist. And then there is a cause and effect relationship, right? So first is a very simple clearing of that argument. Okay. So he says, na dosh lakshanat avrodhat mohasya. So time is up for today, but I think we should, if we can take 5-10 minutes more for the next two, so we can just answer the arguments. Is it okay? Manisha,
Yeah.
James or George? I'm saying James today. James is nearby also. Okay. So, na dosh lakshan avarodhat mohasya. So we say that the dosh is one broad category. Under it, the subcategory are the three. So he says we have given that thing. We have already done that. That within doshas is rag, dvesh, and moha. And rag, dvesh, and moha, we have given so many different points. Even their subdivisions we have given. So we cannot consider. You can say that all are doshas, but you cannot say moha contains all the doshas, right? So we say that moha has a separate existence. A person who is in moha might have also rag or dvesha, but it is also possible that someone has raga but not moha. Someone has dvesha and not moha, right? So both are possible with uh, small distinctions, and a person having any of these three will have unique kind of mental setup. His mental state will be uniquely different. So you cannot always say that one person with moha is in the same mental state as the one with raga and vishnu. And then the second one he answers, nimitta namittik upapattehi cha tulya jati nam apratisheda. So he says there is no prohibition for homogeneous things or similar things, tulya jati nam, for similar looking objects to stand in the relation of cause and effect. So if you remember in Tattva Bodha, we had all the five elements also have a cause and effect relationship. So from Akashaha comes Vayu, from Vayu comes Agni, Agni comes Jala, from Jala comes Prithvi. All the five states of matter, they are interrelated to each other, but they have their own separate existence. So we cannot say that just because something has a nimitta namittik bhava, something has a cause and effect relationship, that does not mean that they are not separate entities. They can be separate entities. Tulya jati nam, that tulya jati nam, we are doing a praticheda. We are denying that. That we are saying they are not the same. They are different entities. So entities can be different even though they have a cause and effect relationship. You can apply this to any other thing. The synthesis of a compound from its elements, the breaking up of an element into a compound into its two constituent elements, whatever happens. Or here the example is given of a jar and its two halves. So एक मटका है उसके दो हिस्से हैं. So a jar and its two halves are also separate entities. The full jar is different from the half jar, and the two parts of the same jar also might have some difference of their own, right? So in this way, just because something has a similar cause, we cannot say that the effect and the cause are they are the same entity. That we cannot say, right? So that nimitta namittik bhava, nimitta namittik upapatte, whenever there is a cause effect relationship, we can still ascertain or accept the entities that are produced to be totally different ones. So we don't agree with that. So the basic argument was moha, raga and dvesha are the same. This one we answered, the Sutrakara has answered that they are separate entities. First he defined them in with all the different details, and then he shows that they all have separate existence, right? And then we go on to Pretya Bhav, which was the next definition in the series. So that we'll take up in the next class. Okay. Any doubts about today's class? We're doing this after so long. So anything you didn't understand or want to maybe ask me to explain again? George, Manisha, Monica is also there, coming so early. Very nice.
Dad.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Mom. Dad, is
Okay,
Snake...
can I see all your faces? I don't like conversing with the wall. All your pretty faces. Yes, so nice to see you all.
Thank you. Same here.
Okay, anyone has any questions about today's class? Anything that?
Yes. Not,
Yes.
I mean, it's not about your explanation, but in the translation I was reading that it translates more as stupidity.
Yeah,
Why?
it's not the exact word. It always happens with any translation, because as maybe someone who's conversant with Hindi and Sanskrit, he will know exactly that moha can lead to stupidity. Yeah. Moha can lead to stupidity, but moha is basically delusion. That is more accurate word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So delusion is more that I am unaware of what is correct or what is wrong. And that leads me to an error. मेरे व्यवहार में गलती हो जाती है. I make an error in the way of I should behave because of moha. Right? Just like I gave the example of two children. A parent has two children. He will behave differently with two children, but he should not. Huh? So why does this happen? Because of moha. Right? I hope your parents didn't do that.
No.
Okay. Okay, good. So I think anything else George wants to ask?
I had one question. So, what is
Yeah.
the relationship between raga and dvesha and moha? So, could you say that raga and dvesha are both forms of moha, but that
Yeah,
moha is
it
not
was there in the
necessarily raga?
shloka of Gita.
Yeah.
So Rag and Dvesh. So basically, you can, as he said rightly in the objection, that out of moha can be born rag and dvesh, right? So moha is delusion. So because of moha, because of delusion, we are not aware of the true character of a thing. So because of that, something that gives me joy, I develop an attachment, and something that gives me pain gives me a aversion. So out of moha, these two can be born, right? But as I said, it is not an exclusive relationship. It is not an exclusive relationship because moha might not be there. So I am not under delusion, but just from the fact that something gives me joy or pain, I develop that kind of feeling. So that is why I said these three can be removed by knowledge. Knowledge will remove the errors at the three basic levels. The basic level, the nature of a thing, that is moha, that error is causes moha. So that is removed by knowledge. Then why should I be attached to something? Everything is temporary. And then why should I hate something? I can mentally develop the courage to overcome that object's hold on me. I can mentally overcome that situation if I'm strong enough. So I should develop my inner strength. I cannot change the world. I have to change myself. I have to change my inner uh, power, my inner strength. I have to bring it so that I can, interact with anything in the world without getting hurt. People are always out to hurt us. We cannot change them. You cannot change the nature of something. Guna guneshu vartante, it's said in the Gita. Everyone is bound by their gunas, by their properties, by their inner nature. So you cannot change the person's nature. But what you can change your reaction to the nature. So all these three, moha, rag, and dvesh, they are separately caused by all of these faults of ours. Moha, because of our delusion, we get attached to the wrong kind of person, or we lose our sense of proper action. And rag and dvesha, they give us a kind of hold on our mind, through which we are unable to do the right thing, through which we are unable to do the right thing at the right time, right? Anything else anyone wants to ask? Or maybe if I was not clear about something right now also. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, then I think we'll wind up for today. I'll just stop the recording, then we can talk informally. Anything else? Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.